Hello, everybody. We are the Geeks and Degenerates. I am Enzo, and I am with Kat and Seb to talk about the whole of season 2 of Arcane. Um, Before we get started on the nitty gritty, yes, we did season 1 way back when, and now we're back for season 2. So, how excited were you guys for season 2?
Very.
I'm very dog-like when it comes to Arcane. Like, when Arcane Season 1 happened, I was like, oh, this is a nice thing. Still not gonna play League of Legends, though. Then we finish it, and I'm just like, I completely forgot what happened in Season 1.
Yeah,
And then Arcane happens again. She tells me we watch it, and I'm like, oh, right, Arcane is nice.
Yeah.
So, like, in between the time, I completely forgot about it. Like, how good it was. But now that it's back, I'm like, oh, it's nice that it's back.
Yeah.
So no hype necessarily. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
Hope we get to see Victor in the Iron Man suit.
Yeah, and we do eventually, towards the end. But it is nice coming back after 3 years. It doesn't even feel like 3 years the way it starts.
3 years.
Yeah.
We did season 1 before we were allowed to see people in person.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how long it's been.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Times have been changing.
You put things into perspective. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a
That's
while.
Crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy how much production time goes into making a really good animated series.
The most
Like-
expensive animated series.
Yeah.
And you can see it.
Yeah, 250 million, and you can see it. It was so good.
Yeah.
Crazy good. People
Crazy
are
good.
still like posting like frames of it that you would not have actually spotted.
The detailing from the opening song
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the Easter eggs in the show.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Like, you really have no choice but, well, you have a choice, but like, it's cool when you rewatch it and then you notice things.
Yeah, everything that's been foreshadowed and like the seeds have been planted again since 3 years ago. It doesn't feel like it though, because it does pick up right where it left off, and I'm like, oh right, this is what happened, and like it's nice to see that. I saw posts on Threads that said like it costs like 250 million, and I guess majority is to let the animators and like the writers just cook with this, and it shows. Like, the writing is superb for the entirety of season 2. There's never a moment where I'm like, yeah, it's kind of weaker than season 1. I say it's on par with season 1, if not better. It is
Okay.
a shame that it has to end this run of Arcane, I mean, so soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, League of Legends has a lot of champions, a lot of regions, so I can also understand why they would feel like eventually we should venture off to other stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, they started so strong with Jinx, Vi, Echo, Caitlyn, and the other champions that come into this 2-season show.
It's basically a lot of the characters people would know from League without playing League.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I know Jinx and Caitlyn are extremely popular. To the point where you, like, if a couple people were thinking League, they'd probably think Jinx by Caitlyn. At the very least. I think, not Jace, but yeah, Jinx by Caitlyn definitely
Warwick.
comes to mind. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I'm aware of Warwick's presence, but in terms of, like, poster boys, yeah,
Jinx, yeah.
Jinx is definitely up there, because they're like, hey, look, it's Harley Quinn, but from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Is what people's most idea of it would be, but...
Yeah, I also love the soundtrack when Caitlyn assembles her guard and
Oh my
Linkin
god,
Park
yeah,
is
Heaviest the
blasting.
Crown.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
their soundtrack was nuts. I mean, even the first season was good. Like, they didn't mess around. Like, everything was thought of. Everything was pretty deliberate. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, I should download the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I think is the right term to use.
Mm.
I feel like getting Linkin Park version 2 on this was a really good idea. Not just because it's a good nod to the World Championships.
Yeah.
Because this was used in
Yeah.
the League of Legends World Championships game.
Yeah.
It didn't feel corny. They played both the original, like snippets of the original, and the stripped down remake, right?
Yeah.
I just remember the
Or was
stripped down one.
Okay,
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was a cool. If that's the case, I think it's a cool nod that like they changed the song just enough to show you that like, you know, you get a certain type of action in the game,
Yeah.
and the mini series is where things get a bit more sincere and a bit more solemn and serious and slow. And I think with the OST in general, like this is one of those things that like from top to bottom is definitely doing an amazing job of setting the vibe, for lack of a better term.
Yep.
Yeah.
So everything about Arcane, like in terms of you said it a while ago that like season 2 is probably on par, if not better than season 1. I think Arcane functions very well as a single entity. That I would not necessarily separate season 2 and season 1 as comparable things. Like the way it bleeds into the other is really seamless, and I think the better thing to say is that like Arcane is just really good top down.
Yeah.
And yeah, it continues on. Like it doesn't feel like it feels like such a similar vibe to the first season. Like they really committed thematically to this having been like what, a couple days after Jinx's attack
Yeah.
on
Piltover.
Piltover. And how everything starts in the show and how everyone's reacting to what happened really makes it feel like a direct pickup from where we were at.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't like refresh ourselves when we watched this, we just went into it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't remember everything like I wish I did, but the show did a good job of reminding us of the importance of characters like Silco,
Yes.
Yeah.
who like isn't here in the sense of actually being in the present time, but
Yeah.
they do a really good job of reminding us how important Silco is to the narrative and how multi-dimensional Silco is as well.
Yeah.
Because like 3 years have passed, and if you didn't have time to catch up on Arcane, you might have forgotten that Silco was interesting.
Yeah. Definitely.
Questionable scenes sometimes with Jinx, but definitely like a multi-dimensional character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There were sequences in the show where I was just amazed, like the end fight of the first half of the season between Jinx and Vi, and then at the same time Jace is like messing with Hextech and everything is just going fucky wacky, and I'm like, this is incredible to see. Like Arcane always manages to like show how great animation can be. Like it's one of the flag bearers of like why animation shouldn't be just relegated to just like, oh, it's just for cartoons. It's a storytelling medium, as most people have said, and Arcane definitely shows it.
And it's also interesting how like animation as a medium hasn't really like you see how movie making has evolved and like creating shows has evolved through the years, and then live action, it feels like we've gotten to find a way wherein we can output faster. Like we can always come up with another Marvel movie every year,
Yeah.
but it takes 3 to 4 years to make another Spider-Verse,
Yeah.
or 3 to 4 years to make another Arcane. And those are numbers you could only imagine during the VHS days of Disney animated movies, like Lion King, you know, and you thought that we would have moved on from that because technology has moved forward, and so have we. Like, before all of this, we didn't have phones.
Yeah.
Phone books had a purpose. That's right, kids. Google phone books. They were real. And payphones were of use. Like, now, things that we would have only thought like US spy technology would have been are in the palm of our hands, but animation still takes 3 to 4 years. If you really put in the work and let that shit simmer, and you don't just CGI the fuck out of it with, like, you know, Pixaring everything and drowning everything in, like, CGI as we've known it, or 3D animations, like, really detailed multi-medium animation still cooks until still takes a while, and that's mind-blowing to me. Like, it's the only it's a medium where it feels like it's like a force of nature, you know. Like, we could make 1,000,000 sodas, but like we'll never not have water, and that's how it feels like. It's nice to see a medium still require time. It's nice to see a piece of art have to force this very immediate, instant gratification, like, generation of people, like, forcing us to actually wait and take time on something and be patient for the outcome will be worth it in the end, and it fucking was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's nice to see something in this world do that. And I guess, you know, things like Spider-Verse, when the third one comes out, we'll do it again. But it's really nice to see that we could still do this with art. Like, take time, and people will come back as if, you know, as if Jinx attacked Piltover yesterday, which in the show she did. But in reality, for us, it was fucking 3 years later, and we still fucking loved it.
Yeah. This season also does a great job at pulling at the heartstrings, like when they introduce Isha. Like, most of the second act, I was like, I don't think this will end well at all, but let's just go. And like, they also bring back Vander as the creature. I'm like, that can't end
Warwick.
well.
Warwick.
Warwick.
Yeah.
That's what you
He's
call
an
it.
actual champion, yeah. He's an actual champion in LoL.
But is he Vander in LoL?
No, I mean, Warwick was Warwick in League of Legends, and then in Arcane, they turned him into Vander,
Oh.
I guess, to insert. I mean, I could be wrong. It's been a while, guys.
There may
But-
have been some kind of alluding that he was Vander.
They were throwing hit. I mean, maybe, but
Supposedly, if I heard, like, I have
Yeah.
some third-hand information that, like, there were slight hints to him being someone who had a connection.
there was a connection. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Why is his name Warwick? That never shows up in Arcane.
I think Sinch just named him that.
Oh,
Oh.
and Singe never calls him that in Arcane. God damn it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Warwick's cool. I like
Mhm.
Warwick.
Yeah. I do like the new threat in Ambessa too. Like, she is a powerhouse of a villain. I'm like, damn, that is quite intimidating.
I hate her. I hate her. I hated her in the first season. I hated her in the first season. I hate her more now.
I mean, she's doing her job.
Yeah.
This season's really like it's very like know who your friends are, or in this case, know who your favorites are. I only like 2 characters in the season. The rest I'm significantly annoyed by. Wait, no, I like a couple more than 2, but yeah, for the most part, I didn't like a lot of the characters and a lot of the decisions they've made.
Yeah. I do like the chemistry between Caitlyn and Vi. Like, the whole will they, won't they? I was like, I think they will, but like, I can't wait to see how this pays off. Like,
Don't
They're-
you just love them lesbians?
yeah.
I mean, I appreciate Arcane for like we're getting all the lovers, the gays, the lesbians, the straights.
The Mr. Freeze type who still talks to their dead girlfriends
Mr.
from
Free.
like Beyond the Void, you know, with Victor and his dead assistant. Is she dead? Like when
She-
they're talking in their head, is that Victor talking to Victor, or Victor talking to?
No, because remember Sky got she got sucked
Yeah,
up by the
yeah.
Hextech first.
Is
So
that
that's-
Sky for sure?
It's still Sky until the
Okay.
end. Until that part she vanishes. I think it's still Sky.
Okay, part of me really thought he was talking to himself.
I love the show, but like a part of me felt like certain aspects of season 2 felt rushed.
Hmm.
Really?
Like a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, the pacing in like maybe Act 1 was fine. And then I guess minus the episode. Okay, I love episode 7. It was my favorite. The pretend like it's the first time. We will get back to that in a bit. But like once the actual war thing happened, I felt like, alright, we're gonna speed up everything. Not all characters are gonna have meaningful deaths. Deaths? Why can't I pronounce that? Deaths. We're gonna hint at certain LOL champions that we're not even gonna bring up into the show. Like, you know, we're just mentioning them. You won't know if half the people in the show are dead or not. You kind of leave more questions than answers, I guess, which is like fine, an open-ended thing, because like how accurate is Arcane to like the League games, because technically you can play these characters, so I guess how can you play them when they're dead? But I don't know, there's just a lot. I don't know, I feel bad. Like I wish Warwick had a better ending or story arc. I wanted, like, I don't know I don't necessarily fully understand what happened with Victor and Jace
Yeah.
in the gayest moment in the show. Like, is Heimerdinger actually dead? That was
Yeah.
completely brushed off.
Yeah,
Thing.
yeah.
You know, so many things about that act in terms of like the death toll were so confusing to me, because I'm also like, Warwick's not dead, he's in the game. Heimerdinger's not dead, he's in the game. Jinx isn't dead, she's definitely in the game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, how are any of these people? Because like, Arcane is supposed to happen before League happens, right? Which means, because there are interactions of these people, and that feels like they've been going to war for a while. So they can't be dead, because they're having like specific lines
I mean,
that
if that-
allude to each other.
Even if that was the case, Vi and Caitlyn, I guess, end up breaking up, and then they start fighting it when the League of Legends happen.
Look, it makes all the sense in the world. There's no way that you know, Red Rhea Ripley won't break up with her Republican cop girlfriend. You know, like
Yeah.
I saw it coming, but like, you know, it's also League of Legends. Like, I don't think anyone's allowed to be happy
Yeah.
in the situation that they're in. Like, in the game, I'm not just talking about how miserable League is, but like,
No, we're talking about Arcane. We're sticking to
yeah,
Arcane.
yeah. But
Yeah.
within the lore of League of Legends, there's no way that like any of these people actually ended up happy, because the events of League of Legends occur.
Yeah, they'll need a reason to fight.
Yeah, so even if they're okay here, they're not gonna be okay like down the line. So, like,
Yeah.
the biggest spoiler in all of this is like, if it turns out well for people, it won't for long. So,
Yeah. Well, speaking of misery or sadness, like the ending of Act 2, I was like, they're not gonna kill Isha off. Like, something else is gonna happen, right? And she pulls the trigger, I was like, no fucking way. And then you follow it up with the episode of Jinx and Echo and Powder. And I'm like, oh god. Oh god. Jesus Christ.
dude, I think Ina remembers what I said when I first saw Isha. I was like, oh, this kid's gonna die.
I mean, we knew
Like,
it. Like,
Jinx is gonna love this kid. She's gonna die by the end, though.
they They Gago. I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously they introduce Isha. We know we're gonna love Isha. We also know that, oh no, she's going to be very significant in a sad way. We just don't know how. Like, you'd think Warwick would end up killing her, giving Jinx like a confused, like, oh my god, my dad just killed my daughter, sister, I don't maybe little sister. And then you find out, well, technically it is because of Warwick. But it's not because of Warwick.
Yeah. He's not
It
the
gave
one
me,
who pulled
like-
the trigger.
It gave me like Game of Thrones, the queen of the southern, what's her name? The little the 10-year-old queen from the north.
Yeah.
She just
Ellie.
No, not Ellie.
No, isn't it the girl that plays Ellie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The girl who plays Ellie. I was like, what? Yeah, the little bear. She runs up to the
Giant.
wow, I forgot. Yeah, the giant. I'm forgetting Game of Thrones things. But yeah, that
Mountain?
scene. I'm not sure. No. It's one of the giants, I think. But yeah,
Oh.
it gave me that same feeling. Isha, along with Vi and Jinx, have a moment of happiness with their dad, who was conscious of them despite his new transformation, courtesy of Singe.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, wow, thank you for giving us like one episode of happiness.
Yeah.
Like, give these sisters a break.
Yeah.
Good.
Also tragic when you realize that Echo like left that alternate universe behind where he could have been happy. Just
He could have been happy
Yeah.
with powder.
yeah. That shot of them sitting together, it really I don't know if you guys have seen Cyberpunk the animation.
No,
on
we
Netflix.
have.
Yeah. Right?
It's
it-
very-
I've seen it.
Huh?
What?
We've seen it. Lucy and
David.
Yeah.
we've
I
seen
said-
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I said
no.
we have. No, I said yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
have.
heard no.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, we did. Yeah, I mean there were a lot of parallels, like Spider-Verse, Cyber Edge,
Punk.
Cyberpunk. Sorry,
It's fine.
but yeah, I mean that was such a hard. I mean, it does mess me up a little bit knowing that Vi and Jinx will only, at least from what I'm getting, they'll really just be happy if one dies in that particular universe.
Apparently.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's interesting seeing that parallel universe. The fact that Silco and Vander were able to get along after. I mean, Act 1 was partially Vander versus Silco during the whole Shimmer fight.
Yeah.
Let's call it the Shimmer fight. And then they're forgiving each other in that parallel universe. So many people that could have been dead were alive at the expense of Vi.
Yeah.
Jinx actually had is it the hex deck shards in the drawer in the shrine?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's like wow, this would have been the reality if Jinx didn't use those things.
Yeah. If only. But
If
like
only.
You mean powder?
Powder, yeah. If powder, yeah, Jinx ceased to exist.
yeah.
Yeah, because Vi didn't live long enough to call her that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wait, I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna ask. So we saw the parallel universe of Echo and Powder and Heimerdinger. Heimerdinger was so cute in that episode. Was that happening in the same universe as Jace when he was having a shit time?
I think it was.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Yeah, he was up. He was up, right? He was in Piltover where everyone was
Mhm.
like dead. Okay, so that was happening in the same.
I think this is the alternate universe where Zon is chill and Piltover's, you know, the last of us.
over.
Yeah.
Built over, capital over.
Bit over.
Yes.
Okay, that was really funny though. It's like, wow, Jace can't catch a break this season.
I
Yeah.
love that it's a common theme too. While somebody's getting someone is having a mental breakdown. Like
Yeah.
you always cut to someone having a mental breakdown if someone is getting kissed or fucked.
That's true.
I feel like this was also happening in season 1.
yeah, when Mel
With
and
Mel
Jace were
Jace,
doing
yeah.
it, yeah, Victor was Victor was going through it.
Yeah. He's going through the ringer. You're like, oh god, poor guy. But I would say for me at least, I would say the ending is both like I like the fact that it's open ended, and at the same time, like that's quite a satisfying ending, even though I'm like, I don't believe that Jinx is dead by the end. I get
No, I mean they hint that she's alive.
yeah,
That it was very deliberate of them to show Caitlyn looking at the air ducts map with the air ducts, and then cut to an airship, because the airship was a callback to episode 1 of Arcane season 1, where Powder is like, one day I want to ride that.
oh right, forgot about that.
Yeah, so there's, I mean, I'm in my Delulu head, I'm like, I hope Echo rides with her or something, or follows her.
Yeah. Though when the battle was going down and they introduced Victor's soldiers for his glorious evolution, I was like, I don't know how they'll win. I honestly don't know. Like I was on the edge of my seat, being like, it's either this is going to be the bleakest ending I've ever seen, or something's going to happen. And then Jinx like helps them out. I'm like, oh okay, sure.
Yeah, it was terrifying because when you think about it, it is a bit. I mean, I keep saying call back to season 1, but remember the part where Victor. So yeah, Victor's doing that whole. I just need bodies of those who are willing to provide the soldiers. Not everyone like that. The during the war when they got Echo, they got Savika. Well, not Echo. They got Savika. They got the other soldiers, Caitlyn subordinates, Jinx, Vi. They're not willing people who would want to get their subconscious wiped out to be a soldier for Victor, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to remember Victor was also cured by Shimmer, and Shimmer is a drug, and I think that affected the other champions into subduing their will to Victor, which was honestly terrifying. Like if
Yeah.
it wasn't for Echo,
Nothing's
wasn't for
more
Echo.
terrifying. There's nothing more
like-
terrifying than like a hyper functional hive mind.
Yeah.
yeah, it's so
Because now you have
scary.
zombies who are both indestructible and extremely quick. Like
Yeah.
it's the worst possible Train to Busan combination.
Yeah.
So I completely get why that was really scary. I was sad over the death of his boy best friend / subordinate.
Oh
When
yeah,
he got like arrows to the everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, it was a very Attack on Titan death.
Yeah.
it was.
Like
Actually,
it was too quick for you to simmer on. It just happened.
a lot of the during the war, a lot. I mean, that's how I felt with Warwick also. It like you're right. It does feel like an Attack on Titan death.
You're forced to accept it. Like they don't give you time to wallow on it. They move
Yeah.
on to like the continuing conflict, because it's not like he died in the end. He died in the
Yeah.
middle of a bunch of shit happening.
Yeah, the only death that made sense to me was Maddie.
That was definitely the death in demand.
Yeah.
Death in demand.
The high demand death. Do you remember when they were planting the bomb on the Lady Gaga Victor egg,
Yeah.
Yes.
and there was a nail in the bomb?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was Maddie.
Yep.
Oh fuck.
Because like Maddie helped like set up the bomb before they all started running off to attempt to like get it
Yeah.
onto the Lady Gaga egg. Yeah,
Mhm.
the nail was Maddie's.
Oh
Well-
damn. Jesus.
Yeah.
Such a
Well,
piece of shit.
I'm happy Mel offed her.
Yeah.
That was such a funny. I mean, I found it hilarious. She was about to shoot Caitlyn, right? And then if you pause it, there's like this black and white art with like Maddie smiling as she's shooting Kate. Yeah, it's like a split second. You don't see it. Like all other fans caught it. Really cool.
Oh.
And then I love the fact that Mel, which we should talk about Mel. She's a new champion, right? And then she found
Now
out
she
she's a
is.
mage. Yeah, now she is. She turned into this really badass mage, and then as Maddie shoots, she creates this force field. So whichever way it ricochets, Maddie will still die.
Yep. Like people thought she protected Caitlyn. No.
Nope.
She put the she did protect Caitlyn, but she put the force field around Maddie.
Yeah, that bullet's just gonna jump everywhere.
It was super satisfying. So
Yeah, but once again I will say this wrap up in a nice bow. I do know I've heard there's other league stories being in development. Like one is like right around the corner apparently, according to the creator. So I'm excited to see what else they do with this property. I don't
You
think
want
I'll
me-
ever play the game, but like I will continue
No.
watching.
neither will we.
You could technically play League. They do have like other games in League that you
There is a
could play the champion,
fighting game.
like Wild Rift. Like
Yeah.
the actual game. I mean, I can't handle toxic players, so I can't play. It is fun when it's when it's a light, happy game. Really fun to play, but at the expense of your mental health. Maybe not, but yeah. Ayun. I mean, I'm so happy for Mel and Echo. They were really like truly the MVPs
Yeah,
of this clusterfuck.
yeah.
When a bunch of white people get crazy and start wars, get saved by people of color.
Yeah,
Echo and Mel.
Echo and Mel.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Like I just felt so bad for Echo by the end too, because he's just by himself. I'm like, oh, he could have been with Powder in the other universe, but
Some people say that what do you call that, Seb? For the funeral thing, the one where they light the fire and the paper floats away.
I don't know what they call it, but that's definitely the thing where they light the fire and the paper floats.
Like
In One Piece, like there's this thing called the Vivre card, and
Okay,
just
so-
like it, little pieces of paper, you light it up.
we'll just call it the Vivre card. People are suggesting that maybe when Echo lit his up, you think it's for Jinx, but people are thinking maybe it's for Heimerdinger. So
Huh.
there's a chance Echo might no, because Echo's fully aware of what happened in the parallel universe. He saw Heimerdinger disappear more so than Jinx. There's a chance he might know Jinx is alive.
You
As
know what?
they
You
say.
right. You right.
You right? I mean,
You're right, that's-
okay.
That's reasonable.
I mean, we should circle back to the main character. Like, Arcane was about Jinx and Vi. I am happy Jinx was able to break a cycle. She already put herself in the box, like everyone around. Like, she truly is Jinx.
yeah.
She felt like, all she can do is destroy and destroy and destroy. Even though people like Vi and Echo were like, we know you're capable of good, but how do I explain this? Jinx felt like she had no other options than what she had presented to her.
Yeah.
But then I remember, like you mentioned, Silco not being physically here, but she was in her subconscious,
Mm-hmm.
telling her essentially to just leave or like. And I'm so
Let
sorry.
go.
I'm like-
Let go.
yeah,
Like,
I'm
Yeah.
blanking out.
Walk
yeah,
away.
those were
let
his.
go.
Those were his lines.
Yeah,
Like,
so I
walk
feel
away,
like
let go.
So I feel like it makes sense that the ending gives you like. I don't think she was willing to die, but at the same time, I feel like it feels cooler. I guess not really sure of the word right now. It feels cooler that there is a chance. Like yes, I did let go, but I didn't want to die. I want to live, but I also want to let go of this cycle.
Sorry.
Yeah.
One Piece fan, sorry.
At the beginning of episode 3 where Echo's just like, wait a moment, please, and then it just exploded and he's like, ah, god damn it.
Wait,
Wait,
go back to last checkpoint.
Yeah.
Explode
God.
again. Go back to last checkpoint.
The fact that Echo had to he used what Powder said to him to Jinx was so
yeah.
and
You
then
want to
maybe
know
she
something
also
that's gonna piss all of you off?
what
The last episode was supposed to be 30 minutes longer than it ended up being.
yeah I know I
Really?
saw a post about that even the thespian
The thespian
sexy
Lex.
time the
The thespian
thespian Lex
Yeah.
the cupcake time in the
Hmm.
in the prison had a good 5 minutes extra. Like it was supposed to be spicier. That scene, honestly, when I was watching it, I was like, how come season 1 Mel and Jace didn't have a sex warning while a season 2 did? And I was like, season 2 felt tame. Oh, you mean there's more? They just didn't add it. Okay, that makes more sense.
I don't really care for long sex scenes.
No,
unless it is porn. And I'll say this for Jace and Mel, didn't like that either. No, because sex scenes, like, play a very specific part. As much as I like seeing hashtag them titties, narratively, sex scenes don't really into anything other than letting us know that it happened. Like every time a sex scene happens, we can fade to black and then maybe cut back to after. But I don't really care for sex scenes because they never move plots. But sexy titties, them nice, we like it. I am pissed about the 30 minutes being taken away, specifically because Echo and Jinx had a conversation about the alternate universe for sure.
Yeah.
They talked. And you know what? I'm gonna go even further. They had enough time to paint each other. They for sure painted each other, right?
Yeah, they had enough time to turn Jinx's room into the airship that she brought into the war.
Yeah.
Yes.
Too.
Yes. Can you imagine this conversation and how inadvertently funny it would be? He's talking about how they were in a relationship in the other universe, while she's like making a star on his back or something. Like, like they had conversations, and other side characters supposedly had lines. So like a lot of people were cut because they took out so much time. Like, you remember how like BVS was pretty shit until they added the additional 15 minutes? Can you imagine how great Arcane's last episode would have been if we got the additional 30?
I feel like we'd have more answers question. There were
Questions answered.
Sorry, did I say answers?
You said the reverse.
You said the
Sorry,
complete.
dyslexic.
It's
Sometimes. But yeah, I mean, I would love for more content of Arcane. Like, if they release they do a Snyder cut, if you will, I'm all for it. Like, I'm sure everyone would love to get it.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully they give me more. They give me more details. Like I don't know about if Enzo knows it. You remember Singe's daughter? The reason why he's performing these things to see if one can truly become immortal.
Yeah.
The little ballerina in the room. She's actually a LOL champion. Oriana. Yeah.
Interesting.
So like,
Yeah.
I mean, there were a lot of champions they could have brought into Arcane rather than, I guess, maybe introduce Mel, Ambessa. Like, they still have more champions in Piltover / Zon that could have been brought. Like, or they did throw hints at other champions, but like Oriana was like, they didn't even, because Oriana basically becomes like this mechanical ballerina attack doll thing in the game.
Okay.
I legit thought she was gonna be somehow introduced into the army along with Singe and Warwick and Victor. There's also a girl, I think her name is Kanat. She's relatively new. By the time I was playing LoL, I don't know these champions, but Kanat looks like those white robot people from Victor's
Army.
like the aesthetic, the white with the colorful, I don't know what you call it, the colorful like Heztech
Yeah.
splatters. Yeah, she was like a chem baroness. There's also a girl named an agent named Camille who also was a Piltover agent that also used Hextech weapons. Heztech. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry guys.
The Hextech.
I promise I know my shit, I just can't pronounce it. But yeah, I mean, Also, the Black Rose that with the whole Mel storyline. That's another. That's. I thought they were going to introduce her. There's a sorceress named LeBlanc. She is known as like I think the queen of the Black Rose in League of Legends, but
She is.
they didn't fully show her as her. And I was like, why? I mean, you're already there.
To be fair, it's LeBlanc's whole thing to operate in shadows.
I guess
Like
so.
even in her role in Noxus as one of the 3
Yeah.
pillars of Noxus, she's pretty in the shadows.
Which
so
is-
it's pretty in character.
Which is why I kind of think they might go for Noxus next. Noxus, I mean, from the posts we've seen, they did say Demacia, Ionia, and there was one more. They didn't say Noxus, but then I feel like there's a chance they could do Noxus, just because they already introduced it in Arcane. I mean,
sure.
anyways, yeah. Do you guys have other thoughts?
I'll take the Twitter consensus. I really think it's headed to Noxus. Everyone thinks it's headed to Noxus. People are really looking forward to seeing Swain.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool characters in Noxus, kasi. I mean, actually, no. I can't say that. A lot of League regions are really good. Like, there's a reason why their cinematic trailers and movies are really good. There's a reason why there's a huge following. Like, they know how to make content. They know how to make stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of interesting characters are in each region. Yeah, I'm just curious which direction they're gonna go.
Yeah. I'm interested in the 30 minutes because that's nothing to sneeze
I
at. I'm
know.
like, damn, 30 minutes?
30 minutes is a lot of content.
Yeah. As Seb
They should
mentioned,
have
that's
posted it.
it's like BVS right there where you're like, there's a lot of things missing, and I can tell there's things missing. And until they
Yeah.
do a Snyder cut of it, I guess it will remain a mystery.
You just called it Snyder Cut. Or just doing that for everything now, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a waste. It's a waste because, like, I love this season. I actually personally like the events of it more than now because, like, I couldn't really, like, I wasn't really down with anyone to the point that I'm down with Echo in this season. So I would have liked to see more from the characters that I like, especially. And yun nga eh, like Arcane finishes here. Like there won't be more of this exact thing. So I felt like they should have made it more conclusive for us. So that we could be more at peace. If you're gonna leave a couple things in the air, like okay, because everyone does, I just feel like they left way more questions than answers by the end. But still technically a good ending and in theme with how the season was. But come on.
Yeah. All I have to add is what a year it is to be Ella Purnell, since she has 2 great shows based on video games, Fallout and this. So
Yeah, Fallout, Arcane. She's
Yeah.
having more than an okie dokie year.
yeah, exactly. Do you guys have anything to add before we wrap this up?
I love that Haley Steinfeld's best work all have to do with like completely goated animated properties.
Yeah.
Like she's never done well to this degree with any of her live action outings, but like every time you put this woman in animation, you know it's gonna be a good animated thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice to see the progression of Arcane. Nice to have it end in a very interesting little bow to tie
Yeah.
things up. Not as well as I'd like, but you know it's tied up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that being said, what would you rate Arcane Season 2?
I'll give it animation a 10, the characters a 9. I guess the story, I guess I can give it a 9. Like, I did feel it was a little rushed, but, you know, they did wrap it up enough. It's not like certain animes where it felt really rushed. This one was like, maybe if they gave us the 30-minute.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I've opened up a can of worms by letting you guys know they cut out 30 minutes of this.
no, that's a huge. I mean, I feel like that's a huge deal. But yeah, I'll keep it
Yeah.
at a 9, just because. I mean, I'm sure Arcane has reasons for introducing new champions, choosing which champions to put into their stories, and how they're gonna be integrated into it. Like, I'm not their creative, party. I'm sure they had their reasons. It's still a good show. Like, I would definitely recommend it. Heck, I got sick from crying from the show. That's why my voice is like this.
To be fair, you chose to watch Arcane, then the reunion of Big Bang, then the next day Wicked. So
Whatever.
it was nothing but a whole weekend of crying for you.
Yeah. Anyways, your ratings.
You.
Okay. Yeah. I'm on the same boat. I'll give it a 9. I thought the animation was superb. I do like where the characters went. I just docked points because of the 30 minutes. I'm like, damn. I mean, when I saw the episode this morning, I was like, wow, 50 minutes is a lot. But like by the end, I'm like, I kind of want more than what I got. But I say it's a satisfying ending. I do like I do love how they animated all the fight scenes. Like it propelled what animation can do in my eyes. Like since season 1. So I'm like, all right, let's see what they do in season 2, and they like excelled in season 2 again. So yeah, I'm happy with the way the season went, and I just hope there's more content from this universe because again, as I said, I am interested. So yeah, 9 out of 10 as well.
You could get like a new desktop wallpaper just taking pauses at every fight scene. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 9, like a straight up 9. If there are pacing issues, then like if my information is true and to my knowledge it is true, then they definitely cut off enough meat for me to be looking for a bit more. But that being the only caveat is the only reason it's a 9. Everything else is great.
Yeah. To the audience watching and to Kat and Seb, what other video games do you think is great for an adaptation of this scale? Like, I know there's a lot of future adaptations. Like, there's God of War, there's DMC, there's like a lot. There's Amazon has that secret level animation thing from Love, Death, and Robots in December. So I'm interested to see what that is. I'm always down for Assassin's Creed, even though the last live action one was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? This is what I'll say about Assassin's Creed. The only time that they shot themselves in the foot was like revealing to us that the Animus existed.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed would be perfect had it not been for the fucking Animus. No one wanted that shit. We wanted to be in that time period.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, go on.
Yeah. There's also the new Mortal Kombat next year with Carl Urban as Johnny Cage. Like,
Yeah.
I hope it turns out well.
He's the last person I thought would be playing Johnny Cage.
Right.
Doesn't have Johnny Cage vibes. Ina, do you have any ideas on what you'd like to see?
I mean, it would be cool to see Overwatch.
Yes.
This is very, very, very niche. But there's this game, Critical Role, introduced around the time Vox Machina Season 2, which we have reviewed, check it out, was out. It's this game called Wayfinder, which was an MMO that turned into a TTRPG. Oh no, tabletop. No, just an RPG.
Yeah, just an RPG.
It's like League of Legends with like Overwatch animation. I don't know, it's really cool. I mean, honestly, the cutscenes alone and the story, at least from how I've been playing it, and I've been playing it for like 100 hours or so. The story is really good. They have a lot. They have like 10 10 wayfinders or champions that they can play off as a show. Um, pretty good. Like, I mean, it's still relatively new from the transition. But yeah, in terms of like a game that they can turn into an animation or a show, I definitely think like Overwatch, Wayfinder is a good one. How about you guys? You guys have technically played more games than I have, so.
It'd be interesting to see Dead by Daylight. Just have all
Oh
these
my God.
franchise killers in one movie. That'd be cool.
You
to
know
see.
what? Dead by Daylight would be such a meta.
It's such a
Um,
you have Nicolas Cage, like, just him as him.
Yeah.
No, because like there's also enough shit in the DBD lore to imply that the game itself is an entity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it would go back to being a game if you. It could be like 13 Ghosts,
Yeah.
like you know that movie. It
Yeah.
could be roughly like that with elements of like super meta. It is a game type of situation.
Honestly, yeah,
Um,
Dead by Daylight would be pretty cool.
It has to be a movie though. I don't think it would thrive
Yeah.
as much as a series.
Don't
Yeah.
make the series.
Like even a limited series, don't do that.
Yeah.
I think I would. You know, there was a time where Overwatch was gonna get the Arcane treatment because if
Oh.
you go back in time and you see Overwatch lore, it was so sick.
It was so
It was so
good.
good.
Yeah.
Dude, the storylines are so crazy. Like you should look back at like character trailers and like just any lore drops that they would give. The
Actually-
Overwatch universe was beautiful. I don't know if it still is.
Yeah. It probably
But-
is. Hell, Valorant also.
Valorant, I think, is coming.
Oh, there is one. Okay.
Yeah, DMC is coming. We know that for sure.
Yeah. That's
It's
why I
from
didn't say
the
DMC.
guys. It's from the guys who made Castlevania.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Castlevania was interesting. I think Castlevania was a situation where they took a property with not a lot of substance and just gave it a lot of substance.
Yeah.
Mhm.
From the games I played, well, yeah, I would love to see God of War. I would love to see God of War. I don't know if I want to see it go straight from the start.
Mm.
I would love to see the boy God of War stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would just love to see that God of War.
Yeah.
It was really well made. I love how they integrated Norse mythology into it. Because the earlier God of War stuff was pretty angry man howls at moon and then somehow ends up killing the moon. You know? But yeah, God of War would be fucking phenomenal. One of the best stories I've ever played. One of the most enjoyable games I've ever finished. That Valkyrie level is bullshit. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
The final Valkyrie level, fucking bullshit. Yeah. Yeah, those are mine because like Last of Us has been adapted.
And
Yeah.
they're doing so well.
Yeah, they actually outdid the fucking game.
Yeah.
So, in terms of video game adaptations, yeah. I mean, if they did Assassin's Creed, I would ask that, like, get rid of the anime stuff. Just have the stories play out as it
Right.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. No Desmond, just Ezio. Like, let's test the waters out by just giving us Ezio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lastly, I noticed a Ghost of Tsushima movie by the guy who made John Wick, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, yeah. Ghost of Tsushima would be sick, and I know that the stealth in the movie will be better.
Yeah.
It's that fucking game stealth sucked.
Yeah.
How is the Ghost of Tsushima great at everything but the ghost parts? It's in the name of the game.
Yeah, it's the only part
Come
that
on.
didn't live up to it. I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah. That's been our video for Arcane Season 2. What do you guys think? What's your favorite character? Who's your favorite character? Or what's your favorite video game adaptation so far? From this to The Last of Us to Fallout, whatever it is, comment down below. If you want to see more of us, please leave a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok to see our best and funniest moments. Spotify to hear us on the go. In the video, I'm Zoda's voices on TikTok and Enswolf on Letterboxd. Where can I find you guys?
You can find me at Nekomanan on TikTok. For now.
Okay.
You can find me as Seb the Harmacist on Instagram, Threads, and Twitter, I guess.
All right.
Yeah.
And until the next video, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.